Hi, I'm Damien Carney, and welcome to Conversations with CLICS. I'm thrilled and excited to be here. I'm going to introduce you to the founder and president of CLICS, Leilani Macedo, and CEO Charles Brown. Leilani, tell us about yourself and what brought you here.
Well, hello, Damien.
Hi,
Thank you so much.
Charles.
Nice to see you. Can't believe you actually got us on a set. Great
Well, I've
job.
got to do something to get you two crazy, amazing people together.
So thank you. What brings me here today is, a very long career in the salon industry. I have been a part of the professional salon industry for 30 years. I started by going to cosmetology school, becoming a receptionist and assistant, working my way up to being an independent contractor, and then buying a salon. And so when I had my salon and I had 20 stylists and I was managing, their books and they're managing their hair color, and that is when I identified this very big problem in the industry, managing the hair color around the waist, the inventory management, the color selection, all of the things that we're going to discuss here today. And so I'm just really pleased to be here and to introduce you to the CLICS system.
Well, obviously, passion, is colour. It bleeds out of you, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And that's what we all love about you. And you've got such a vast amount of experience, haven't you? Which is really, really incredible. And Charles, what about your background?
So I started out, I went into the Air Force. They taught me how to maintain the computers at the Strategic Air Command that launched the nuclear missiles. And I really enjoyed that, learned a lot, and then got hired by the University of Southern California, which has a group called Information Sciences Institute. And there I became the liaison to the Strategic Air Command and helped them build the first internet, which was originally a military project. So I went from there. I became good friends with one of the co-inventors, the technical inventor of the internet, and he hired me to help him build the first commercial email service, MCI Mail. And then I subsequently formed my first company and co-invented with him, when he was running MCI WorldCom, the first virtual private network technology that allowed high-value financial transactions to run on top of the internet. Since then, I've built several businesses and really have become a internet meets fragmented industry X business person.
It makes my life sound really dull. You're a true geek, right?
You have no idea.
I do have an idea because we've had many, many conversations. So you're the co-founders of CLICS. How did the two of you meet? Because I think this, for me, was a really amazing story.
So, Leilani had long since been thinking about ideating on this idea. For me, it started when I moved down from Seattle to Southern California. And, my parents were old and I wanted to spend some time with them. So I stopped what I was doing, spent that quality time. I needed a haircut. So I spied a barbershop and I became the proverbial walk-in. I literally walked in, sat down, I ended up in Leilani's chair. And so, as we talked and she was getting ready to service me, as she always does, because she's a professional, she did the consultation, right? Which is, what are you looking for today? How can I successfully, satisfy your needs? And then as she started to cut my hair, she started to ask me questions about myself. And they were really, leaned towards what my professional background was. And as she learned that I was a technology entrepreneur, all of a sudden she said, kind of lit up and said, well, I've been working on an idea in the salon industry. Can I tell you about it? And by that time, I had been involved with or built, 11 technology-oriented businesses. So with some bravado, I looked over my shoulder and I said, tell me what you got. And she lit up like a Christmas tree. I could tell it was like I was pressing the on button. Right? And so she started, telling me about her idea. And it was incredible because in the course of about 5 minutes, she perfectly articulated the business problems, right? There is waste of hair color, there's inventory carrying costs, there's inventory management, there's formulation mistakes, there's limited color choice, and there's antiquated tools. And I'm listening to her, and then she describes how she's going to solve the problem. Meanwhile, her hands are whizzing around my head, and I'm watching these scissors go around and chop, 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 and hair flying everywhere. She's not missing a beat, right? And as she said it, I thought, wow, that's a brilliant idea. I mean, it's just an incredible idea. And so she really captured my imagination just that fast. And what was amazing was that in my thoughts, I'm thinking to myself, I remember 10 years ago driving in some city. I was teaching computer networking technology at the time and going from city to city. And I looked down in this giant strip mall and I saw 3 salons in one strip mall. And I thought, wow, what an incredibly fragmented industry. I wish I could meet somebody who knew the problems in the industry that could be solved using the internet. Voila. And so we she shook my hand, I left, walked away, and I'll let her tell the next part of the story.
Yes, so it was a great meeting. We finished the service, shook his hand, and left. I'm on to the next client. But a week later, I come in from a break, and guess who's sitting in the waiting area? So immediately I go to, oh, there's that guy.
Now I'm that guy.
What does he want?
Yes, what does he want? Oh, he just wants a redo. He hates his hair. This is going to cost me money. This is going to cost me time. I could lose a customer over this, right?
Yeah.
So, I walk over to him calmly and say, hello, how are you? Is everything okay? And he said, do you remember me? I said, oh, absolutely, because it only been a week. It wasn't time for another haircut. I said, can I help you? Can I fix anything? Is your haircut all right? And he goes, oh yeah, my hair is great. It's your business idea that you shared with me. I have done some research and I think you may have something. And would you go to coffee with me and tell me more about it? And so absolutely I agreed to that. And that was in August of 2015. We continued to work together through the rest of that year and formally incorporated the company in January of 2016.
Wow.
And here we are today.
It was funny because when she asked me, is your hair okay? I realized in the moment that I hadn't thought a lick about my hair from the time she had it done. I went, yeah, no, my hair's fine. and so I told her I was really interested in her idea. And what I realized in the moment was that I was the proverbial, walk in and the redo all in one person. So it was really great. And so we worked together for about 4 months, got to know each other, really worked on the idea, and then launched the business in January of 2016 once we realized, we really had something. And I actually became the first investor. And so.
Amazing. And what would have happened if you would have gone to another salon?
If Destiny wouldn't have...
Or sat in somebody else's chair in that barbershop.
I know.
Because it was open seating, and so he just happened to plop right into my chair, and I took that opportunity.
2 amazing opposite brains and concepts and thought processes come together at that moment in time. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful story and very inspiring to me because I believe in that stuff.
You're talking about all the friction.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what is CLICS?
So CLICS is a new approach to hair color. It really is, it's a system that is designed to help elevate stylists and salons. It's really designed to expand their creativity and to actually help keep them organized and to remove some of the menial tasks that we have to do as hairdressers just because of the way the system is currently built. So CLICS, that's what the problem that we're solving. It means something. So when I was thinking of the name of the company, I thought, what am I trying to solve? And what I was really trying to solve was a color lab inventory control system. And so fixing those problems in the color room is ultimately what we're doing, and hence the name CLICS.
To me, CLICS is beauty and the geek. It really is.
Yes.
It really is a beauty. We're a beauty tech company, right? Which is using deep tech, multiple technological advances to solve a range of problems in a really aggressive way, right? Because we're solving 6 problems, not 1, not 2, and so we really are a revolutionary approach to professional salon hair color.
I mean, I know as a previous salon owner, all I wanted to do was do clients and do beautiful hair, but I had a business to run. And there was a lot of things, inventory and other things that go on with owning a business that really consumes your time.
It's a great point. What we're really focused on is solving all those mundane issues for the salon owner and for the stylist so that you can do what you do best. Satisfy customers, be creative, feel great about making people feel great.
Beautiful, I love it, I love it. So you had a clear goal. You always have a clear goal, don't you? I know you, Leilani. So tell us about your goal. And I love your thought process because you're very goal-driven no matter what you do in every elements of your life, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. My main goal was to be able to solve this problem, right? Reduce the waste, the inventory management, a bigger selection and a smaller inventory that was easier to manage, and ultimately be able to provide an advanced tool for salons that would help them streamline their salon operations and improve their profitability.
Profitability, I mean, that's...
It's so big, and it's really the thing that attracted me first and foremost to the business, because when you build businesses, and it takes a lot of resources, you have to garner them, pull them together to go satisfy someone. The single best thing you can do is make them more profitable, make them more economically viable, because that becomes a virtuous circle, right? If a salon owner improves their profitability, they can reinvest in the salon, they can elevate their stylist through education. And so when I realized that she had created an idea that could improve a salon profit by 20, 30, 40%, I went, wow, this is a worthy cause, right? I mean, it's something really quite powerful.
No, profit, I know, again, profitability is to try and make the salon profitable first and foremost, but, being able to use that capital, that money to do other things that build your empire, your business, and in turn, your clients notice all of that, which is really important. So what makes CLICS different, apart from you two?
Do you want to go first?
Sure. So what makes CLICS different? There's a myriad of reasons that it's different. I like to think of it as, it's app-based hair color, right? So it's a system is what makes it different. We've taken hair color that's been traditionally tube-based, and we have put it into a system that is designed to elevate the stylist, right? Elevate the craft, the professionalism, and really just deliver high value for them, and then give them all of that information in a dashboard so they can finally be able to track and manage the hair color, because you can't manage what you can't measure. And with current open stock policy like it's working now, people are just pulling tubes, and you have no way to track and manage it. And so, the complete CLICS system is what really sets us apart.
Yeah, I agree completely. What we've done is we've developed what I think of as a platform business.
Yes.
And if you think of Uber as an example, right, you've got a driver who's using a car that is multi-purpose now. You've got an application. You've got a client who has an application who can engage very readily. And they're all connected together using the internet as a really effective communication system. So what we've done is we've taken all these disparate elements, a tube of color, a bowl, a weight scale, and we've completely re-engineered it into a dispenser which eliminates all of the mundane work of rolling tubes and squeezing them out and trying to measure the exact amounts, and connected it with an application that really gives stylists immense control, really a professional tool, if you will, to control formulations and services, to record them, to be able to repeat them, really effectively. And then capturing all that information, right, and providing it back to the stylist and to the salon owners so they can use that to better empower themselves and more effectively run their business. And it all starts with an incredibly brilliant color line that Leilani designed that offers maximum value with minimum resources. So it's really fundamentally different than anything on the market.
It's pretty good. What I love about the beauty industry is that it's constantly changing, right? And we're always moving forward. And whether it's fashion, cutting, styling, coloring, technology, it's always been it's important to be moving with the movement rather than, staying stagnant. And that's what I think is really very incredible about what you've delivered.
It's another thing that really attracted me to the industry. You know, as we've seen technology move into business after business, industry after industry, it's gotten harder and harder as an entrepreneur to find opportunities where you can really advance the state of an industry. And what I realized through Leilani's educating me over the process is that all of the heavy lifting has always gone on in the back room.
Yes.
Well, there aren't a lot of geeks like me that get to see what goes on and to learn to potentially
We need
fix
more
it.
geeks.
Well, I mean,
She's kind of
I'm
a
kind of
geek,
a
yes.
salon geek here. I
She's
mean, I looked at.
She's definitely, I think she was always a geek.
But no, it's amazing, and I just love it all, and there's so much more. Tell me more about the Mixable color line, because that really, I think, is really quite remarkable.
Yes, well, the Mixable color line is key, and the reason that it is key, because if you think about designing a dispenser, you know, most traditional color companies have, you know, 120, 140 tones. I mean, this would have to be as big as a refrigerator to house all of that, right? And so when I was ideating on it, I'm thinking, you know, I'm using a Mixable color line, so, you know, I want to use an app and the internet to tie it all together. And so really breaking apart the base tones from the pure tones is kind of a concept like a Home Depot paint center meets professional salon hair color. So to be able to design something compact like this and to be able to get all of the tones in there to create the millions of tones, we used the color science construction of the color line. And so with that innovation and the AI in the app, that gives you the ability to do fine dispensing. That is how you open up the color space and give the ability for people to create millions of colors with just 23 unique canisters.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great description. And we love the Home Depot analogy because, you know, before paint mixing, right, if you had the kind of color choice that we can offer and that exists today in a Home Depot paint center, Home Depot would be full of nothing but cans of paint, right? But what they did is they figured out how to do base paints. I love your analogy of naturals, right? And then you could add all these tones to them, right? So in that paint example, the inventory shrunk down dramatically, and the color choice expanded dramatically. And that's exactly what she designed into the system. But she came up with even more innovations over time, and I watched her ideate on these things. And what she realized is she was doing the analysis on the chemistry, which is incredibly complex for hair color, is that you have to today, or with traditional lines, buy a permanent line, which may be 100 to 130 tones, multiple tubes deep. Then you buy a demi-permanent line, which is another whole collection of tubes and tones. And then you buy yet another line, which are what they call tones for doing toning, or I should say toning. And the difference of those, to her observation and doing all the analysis, is just pH level.
Yes.
And so she ended up creating a single additive that controls the pH level, which means that now with literally a line of 30 components, you've got a complete permanent, demi-permanent, and toner line that can produce millions of unique tones with 30 canisters. I mean, it's just brilliant.
I think that's pretty amazing. I mean, let's get real here. So, that in itself, with all the other benefits. But I do have a picture of both of you walking around Home Depot on a Monday, a Wednesday, or a Friday, kind of, thinking about different things.
Yes.
I literally counted all the tones. There's 5,000, in case you want to know.
But I love it. I love it. Charles, you mentioned line lock.
Oh, yes.
What
yes,
is it?
Line lock. So as I was learning about this, and we started presenting our capabilities to salon owners and to stylists, I would always get this question: "Oh, can you dispense anyone's color?" And then I would say, "Well, no, you use CLICS colors." And the universal response was the shoulders shrug, and changing color's hard.
Yeah.
And so I went to Leilani and I said, "What does that mean? Why is changing color hard?" And so she went out and she got a bunch of different manufacturers, 6Ns, which is a natural, without any added color. And she swatched them all out. She stuck them on a wall and she said, "See?" And I looked and I realized, oh my gosh, they're all different. Some are darker, some are lighter, right? 6 didn't mean 6 didn't mean 6. Some are warmer, some are cooler, right? You know, and those are tones that
Yes.
stylists know what warmer and cooler means, right? And so I realized that there's no Pantone in this industry. There's no standard color. And so for a stylist to learn a line takes years, and then to change lines takes years. And so they don't like changing lines. They have fear of changing lines because it's so hard. They can make mistakes, they have redos, and it impacts them financially. And so what I realized is that stylists get locked into, just a term, a particular manufacturer's line. And in fact, they're literally chained to, right? They're handcuffed to a line, and they become fearful. So when a salon owner, for example, when we go into salons and we're talking about our capability, they too demonstrate palpable fear. They don't want to change lines because their stylists just get incredible anxiety. So we thought, okay, it's a very real thing. Why does it exist? So we started sciencing the technology. I saw those swatches. I went, oh, let's understand that. And because she built a mixable line, you know, we started going, what if we could use AI, artificial intelligence, to learn and actually identify, evaluate those tones, teach a AI-based system to replicate those tones, mixing our colors. And so what we've been about is creating in our digital collections of colors the ability for stylists to go into the line that they're familiar with, to select the particular tones that they're used to using, and to replicate them using our system.
Wow. Fear, you touched on fear. I mean, creative people, I have fear, right? We all have fear.
We all have fear.
And we kind of use that as a support to go back to what you know and everything will be okay. But I'm a great believer with education and moving forward and what's going to be great for your business and what's going to be great for your clients and all the amazing technology and all the amazing results that you can see on a head of hair. It's important that we also, you know, sometimes step out of our comfort zone, right? I'm a great believer in that.
That's true, but it's really difficult if it impacts you economically, and it
Yes.
impacts the salon economically. I mean, this is a very, very important decision. And you know, we also had to be introspective. You know, we would be disingenuous if we created a solution that took them from being locked into one line to being locked into CLICS line. That would be disingenuous of us, right?
Yeah.
So what we realized we could do is create those comparable tones, libraries, digital libraries of those tones that they could move from. But if they're used to using one particular line, they can begin to experiment with the tones of all of the different lines,
Brilliant.
including, of course, the ones that CLICS has created that are unique to us, so that they can break out. They can break those chains. They can get rid of that fear. Because for a stylist to be in fear in their career of what they do, for salon owners to feel that same anxiety, it's just unfair. It doesn't make any sense. So we really chose to solve that problem. And we're really proud of that. So you can really quick learn, use the tones, and then just open up your horizons over time.
Are you sure he's not a secret hairdresser? Yeah, he's more than that. Now I know what you mean by line lock. Why choose one line when you can have them all?
Exactly.
I mean, it really is incredible. So what does that mean for stylists?
You know, I think really it's about education. You know, education is so important in this industry, and the reason it's so important is because this is one of the most complex jobs I've ever seen. People have no idea how challenging it is to be a stylist. Everybody's hair substrate is a little bit different. You're using oxidative chemistry, which means you've got a catalyst and you've got, you know, oxidative dyes that combine and have about an hour of efficacy to change, to pull out melanin, to deposit melanin. I mean, it's honestly, I've done a lot of technical things. This is one of the most technically complicated industries and capabilities I've ever seen. And so education is incredibly important. And again, going back to how long it takes to learn a line, we really wanted to empower stylists to be able to learn our line quickly and then to be able to expand on that and to really unshackle themselves from line lock.
Well, I would like to expand on that just a little bit, Charles, because not only technically is it difficult, but you're also being a therapist. And you are also giving them life advice, life skills, and hearing about their dogs dying and their kids going to kindergarten. And so I just wanted to make that clear, everybody, that we are the social fabric.
She gave me therapy when she did my hair. Good point.
So yeah, I just wanted to make sure I covered off on that.
But it's amazing what I mean, for me, joining, I later in my career, I didn't realize how emotional hair can be, how it makes you feel, and especially color.
Absolutely.
Because it changed the characteristics of not only the fabric of the hair, but your personality. And you can be what you want to be. And you can also be something that you don't have naturally that you aspire to be. Pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So does this take away from stylist creativity is the big magic question.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because to be, what does it mean to be creative? It means different things to different people, right? But the way that we are approaching it is that we are expanding the choice of colors that they can provide to their clients, and they still need to use their knowledge of hair color. They need to use the knowledge of what the fabric of the hair is. They need to use the knowledge of putting that application on the hair as well. Really what we're doing is we're expanding their creativity. And we're trying to pull back some of those menial tasks that they have to do, recording formulas, rolling tubes, waiting for scales so they can dispense. So really, ultimately, is rolling a tube making you creative, or is using your knowledge of hair color and the chemistry and what's going to be the most beautiful, vibrant color for your client that you can also name and create custom formulas for each and every one of your clients and make them feel special and that you're paying attention and you're giving them a very professional, high-level service.
And that's, I want to key on that for just a moment and talk a little geek speak.
We love geeks. Carry on. You've got all the time in the world.
So it turns out that oxidative hair color is what they call nonlinear.
Yeah.
What does that mean? If you're mixing paint, you can determine if you add half again as much of a particular dye, what the color is going to be. But when you're mixing dyes that are oxidative, you can't tell. So the human brain by itself takes years and years to learn. That's why it takes so long, because you're applying a different tone on different clients on different days, right? Different substrates, and it just takes a lot of repetition because you're only doing it every 6 weeks to the same, and you've got a lot of different clients, and that's part of the learning process. So we thought, well, this is what neural network artificial intelligence is really good at. We could teach all of the formulation details to the neural network, okay, and then put it in a mobile app so that a stylist, for the first time ever, could add a natural, pick a natural, and we can even mix those so we have 24 naturals instead of the typical 10 to 12, right? Wow. So they could be more granular, have more control, right? Amazing. Pick a number, and then they could add amounts of tone, be it red, blue, all the different ones we have in our line that she created to give them all of that control. And then get this, in real time, show the stylist their creation, what the tone is. Wow. Right? So you talk about unlocking creativity. For the very first time, stylists can design their own colors, can name those colors, can provide unique formulations for every one of their clients if they choose, and even create collections like spring collection, fall collection, summer collection. So quite the opposite of limiting creativity. It really completely unlocks it.
It really separates you from the crowd. And especially in today's world of color, which is, to be quite honest, a number one service in a lot of salons today, and that personalization and unique thing that the client walks away with, that only she or he has got that formulation that the stylist has created for them.
Right.
Yep, that's wonderful.
So how did you solve the problem of hair color waste? Because this is a really big bone of contention for me as a salon owner. I knew that a lot of waste was happening, and I couldn't control it or manage it in the way that obviously CLICS is really thought about. I think it's amazing.
We're so glad you asked.
Oh.
I just happen to have the answer right here.
It's no ordinary bowl, I have to say that.
No, in fact, this is CLICS Smart Bowl.
Wow.
We put a computer chip in this bowl. We custom design it. I particularly like it. It's kind of like a cup of coffee. And I like coffee, so it's a fun design. So we made this bowl intelligent, right? And then we organized the app so that it does a service for each individual client. So when you put the bowl in the dispenser, it reads the chip and it ties the particular client's dispense to the bowl. The stylist dispenses it, applies it, and then any color left over in the bowl gets weighed when you put it back in the dispenser. The stylist pushes a button, and the service for that guest gets recorded into the history, which is stored in the app. So when they come in again, literally, you can have that record called up in 15 seconds and have the color dispensed in another 2 minutes. And now you've got the perfect amount, eliminates all the waste, right? And literally, by the way, saves the average stylist about up to an hour a day in the back room. They get to spend that time with their guest now instead of trying to find the tubes and find the tools and squeeze the color out.
Or have to reformulate because there's missing inventory. That's a huge one.
Right.
And so the waste for me in my salon was, about 40% of profitability and hitting my bottom line. So what this bowl also does is it tells me what stylists are reweighing it, how much they're dispensing. It's also a training tool to be able to educate people on why you don't need to over dispense, because you don't have to go wait in line and then do the math ratio and then try to match just a little bit. Right, you can actually use this bowl as a tool that will help you. You can get more, and the records are automatically updated. So this bowl right here is patented technology, exclusive to CLICS, and it really is the #1 way that we're reducing the waste.
I love it.
And let me emphasize the more feature a little bit, because it really is one of the most powerful aspects. Stylists over dispense for a couple different reasons. One, because the tubes are designed to be completely squeezed, and anything left over gets oxidized. We all know that.
Absolutely.
And so there's a lot of excess waste in the tube, right? Well, let's say that you formulate, and now you look at the style or the client's hair, and let's say it's shoulder length hair. Well, we have a preset amount that gets dispensed for shoulder length hair. But let's say that guest's hair is porous and it really pulls a lot, right? It soaks up a lot of color, and so you don't have as much as you thought you needed. You can hit the more button in the app, and it'll dispense more, and it'll compute the right ratios of each of those tones to hit the color exactly, so that you don't have to worry about remixing, so you don't overmix in the first place. And then, get this, when you take that, the system remembers to add the additional amount to the service record, so that the next time the guest comes in, it dispenses the right amount again. So it learns not only to eliminate waste, but it learns to add and do the exact amount as well.
Wow, unbelievable, right? Ugh. Wow, wow, wow. Now, here's another little question for you two characters.
Uh-oh.
Is it true that you have automated hair color inventory management? This, for me, again, as a salon owner, was so important because it was the thing that everybody hated to do.
Yes.
Had no control over it. Please break it down.
We have, and again, this was another one of Leilani's, must-have, got to solve these 6 problems, right?
Yes.
And this was honestly a really fun one for us to solve. What we realized that we could do with the dispenser technology, okay, is that we could track how much gets dispensed out of each of the canisters. And if we knew what kind of canister that was, of course, we have to dispense the right things, that we could create a reorder, because we know automatically how much each salon is using of each type. So we could generate orders that electronically go back to the pick, pack, ship operations and ship the inventory without the salon having to place orders. So just automatically generate reorders that automatically show up. And so we've uniquely barcoded every single canister that we can now track from the point of origin of manufacturing all the way through to the salon, into the machine, and know when they're ready for recycling.
Oh, to me, that's auto magic. I'm sorry, but I'm going to steal your line, right?
Inventory management is so key, so key. It's a game changer. It really is.
It's simply brilliant. I know that ecology is very important to you both. Can you tell us how CLICS is helping the green salon movement? Because I believe in that. We've all got to do our bit, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely. So the canisters, the recyclable canisters, if you can imagine, you can get 4 2-ounce tubes in each of those canisters.
Wow.
So what we're doing is we're removing 4 tubes out of landfills for every canister. I know, just awesome, right? And what that does is it takes us to our goal of wanting to remove 1 billion tubes out of landfills over the next 5-year period. As well as over-dispensing of hair color that gets washed down our waterways and into our drains and impacts our clean drinking water. So we're also really passionate about being able to remove 5 million pounds of hair color going into our watershed. And it's really exciting because it's an elegant solution to a great business model. So it's a benefit, right? And if we can each do a little bit and make small changes, it will be a ripple effect, right? Those micro changes can lead to bigger changes, and it leaves our planet in a better way for future generations.
Yep. And you know, it's another really fun area to innovate and ideate on. And the truth is, Leilani said, if you don't fix these, you're fired. So I had to do something, right?
He got the memo.
Good. He's on it.
And so, okay, let's eliminate, you know, waste from the water system. Okay, cool. You know, let's get rid of these tubes, which are, filling up the landfills. Okay, let's replace tubes with recyclable aluminum canisters. Okay, great so far. But then we thought, okay, what else can we do? And we realized that all of the tubes have outer packaging, right?
Yes.
There's just more waste, more trees, right? More ink, right? Why do that, right? So we got rid of that. And then we thought, wow, look at all of the carbon transportation footprint when the tube goes from the manufacturer to the distributor to the professional retail, and then the stylist or the salon owner has to drive to retail to pick it up.
Yes.
So we thought, this doesn't make any sense. Because the system is tracking what they need, why not ship the product directly to the salon without all the extra packaging, without all the extra carbon transportation footprint? And so we solved that problem as well. And so across those 4 areas, we're having a really big impact. And then one other thing I'll share, which is really important, is we thought about it and ideated to where we could do it without adding additional cost. So by eliminating all of those things, we're actually reducing our cost of operations, which we can then pass on to the salons as additional savings.
That's really important to me as you know, an everyday working hairdresser or being in a salon and so forth, because we've all got to do our bit, right? And at the end of the day, all these little elements all change the world that we live in and will affect the future of everything. And it's pretty evident what's happening now. So bravo to you.
Oh,
You know, it's
Thank
not
you.
to you to. You know.
It's important.
So when stylists think of CLICS, what do you want them to think? That's an interesting question, isn't it? Because I know you've got lots of things going on in your minds, but you can't, you know, you've only got a few things to say, but they're very important to you. I love what you're going to probably say.
Well, what I want them to think about CLICS is, that it's an advanced tool that is helping to empower them to deliver professional services to their clients and helping them. If they think of it as an advanced tool that's helping them, for hairdressers, we haven't had an innovation in any kind of delivery or anything since the digital scale was invented in 1980. If you think of CLICS as being that advanced tool, other modalities in our industry, such as, estheticians have lasers and microderm machines, right? Elevated tools to help them in their craft.
Yeah.
Hairdressers have not had any innovation. And so when they think about CLICS, I want them to think that, that they are, getting technology for the wave of the future, and that we're here to help them and support them. It's really, we're really passionate about that.
I can sense that passion. I can feel that passion.
Yeah, I think, when we think of salons, and, we really think of them as communities of interest. So you have the salon owner, which has the yoke of ownership, as we all know, and all of the challenges they have to deal with, economic, inventory, and so forth. You think of the stylist and them, being in the profession of helping people feel better about themselves. And so we've separated them in a way that we think about what are the stylist pain points? How can we elevate them in their craft, give them better tools to give better services, right? Differentiate them in a marketplace that has competition encroaching in different ways, right? For the salon owner, again, back to the economics, waste elimination is one of those. But one of the other points that Leilani framed really early when she was cutting my hair was inventory carrying cost, right? And so salons today have to buy 6 to 10 tubes deep of 120 colors, right, for their permanent, and then again for the demi, then again for their toner. So we thought, well, we've solved that multi-line problem, right, with the pH, control additive. What if we also don't charge the customer, the salon, for the inventory up front? What if, because we can, and we've got all this technological innovation built in, as we're weighing what comes out, that's how we eliminate the waste.
Yes.
What if we simply allow the salon owner to tie an account that they want to use to pay for the color, so that we can invoice for the color after it gets dispensed and only charge them by the gram, right? We could literally allow the salon owner to free up all of that cash that's on their shelf, right? And not only allow them not to have to pay in advance, but not to have to break their checkbook out and do the physical mundane activity, because they can just have it electronically paid for and then show them in the app on a daily basis how much they've used, and then the automated paid invoices that go along with it. So our overall mission is to elevate stylists and salons using technology to help them stand out and better serve their customers.
Mind-blowing amazing is how I describe it, and it's such an incredible thought process, and bravo to you. What would you like the audience to take away with them today?
Well, I would like for them to take away that it's an amazing hair color line. It performs beautifully. Wonderful rich browns, amazing reds, high lifts, great gray coverage. Taking that away is one of the things, because it's always that question we get, what about the hair color? How does the hair color perform? And so I just want everybody to take away that it performs beautifully, and we're here to empower and elevate salons and stylists.
Wow.
I think from my perspective that CLICS was created from the ground up by a stylist and salon owner for stylists and salon owners, right? That it is the embodiment of beauty and the geek.
It's true, but it's beautiful.
That aesthetically, we've created the world's smallest color bar. I mean, we really are trying to think of everything. And that we're revolutionizing the professional salon industry, and that we would love them to come and join and be part of the revolution, and join the growing community of CLICS customers.
Wow. Well, thank you both so much. I am so inspired. You're industry leaders, and the future is CLICS when it comes to hair color, and it's really quite incredible. So thank you both very much.
Thank you,
Damien.
Get CLICS revolutionary digital hair color studio today at clics.com. Ready? Okay. Does it really automate inventory management?
Yes.
Holy mackerel!
Does it really eliminate waste?
Yes.
Holy ravioli!
Does it really include 3 lines in one?
Yes.
Holy Batman!
Does it really pay after dispense?
Yes.
Holy guacamole!
Does it really allow you to design millions of unique colors?
Yes.
Holy smokes!
Does it really include 30 canisters?
Yes.
Holy cow!